Hello, welcome to Jason the Old Millennial. My name is Jason, speaking here in my basement in the great state of Kansas. Today's 5-minute review, I'm reviewing the documentary called Quiet on the Set, which is on HBO Max, or as they call it, Max nowadays. This is one that's been around for a little while now. It came out this year, and I've been, definitely wanting to watch it, but it's a very heavy subject matter. I know dealing with abusive children on these Nickelodeon shows. It's very eye-opening, and we can be getting a lot of documentaries about, I feel like, kids getting, abused, and it's very sad that it happens, and the children feel trapped. They have no one to go to, and the adults aren't there to protect the kids. And so many places we have kids being abused where we're just not protecting them. We're more interested in making money than protecting the kids. And it's very sad. And this whole documentary series, which is it's 5 episodes long, I believe. First 4 is kind of the main documentary part. And then the 5th episode is kind of a follow-up interview with all the people, or with some of the people that are in the documentary, kind of catch you up what's going on in their lives. Of course, I had a younger sister who watched a lot of these Nickelodeon shows. So I watched some of them with her. So I'm familiar with some of the shows. And I enjoy some of them. I enjoy some of those young actors are very good. And so this was very informative to me. Kind of learned a lot about behind the scenes and how all these shows got started. And they got started by a guy named Dan Schneider, who kind of pretty much showrunned a lot of these big hit shows. Like the ones I knew were with Josh and Drake, I think it is, Drake and Josh. And then iCarly was a big one, I remember. I know there's a big one called All That, I think, which was like a variety show that they did. Amanda Bynes had her own show as well. Those are ones I can remember. I know Zoe 101. It's a lot of big shows coming out. And Dan Schneider was kind of behind all of them. And we find out that Dan Schneider was really a horrible human being on his documentary. A lot of it's connected with him. And we get interviews with the kids that are in the shows. And they kind of talk about different things that they thought was weird, that Schneider yelled at them or, did all this. And it's just very sad because these kids have so much pressure on them. Here they're trying to do this for fun. This is something they want to do, but they have to perform. They can't complain. If they complain, then they could get fired. And if they get fired, then that's money that they're getting, they're, coming in and helping their family. So that's a lot of pressure to put on a kid that your whole family is relying on you being on the show and making money for them. And yet you're feeling comfortable with what they're making you do. So you do the things that make you feel uncomfortable, which is, to me, it's a red flag. It's terrible. You never want to pressure a kid, especially anybody, but especially a kid. You don't want to pressure them doing something they feel is uncomfortable. And that's maybe one of the worst things about the show, or what Dan Schneider put these kids into. But it sounds like he's pretty abusive to the female staff writers as well. And there's a lot of things, and he eventually got kicked out basically because of all this. Even though the shows were very, very popular, very successful, really built up the Nick shows as a big platform for kids' TV. And it seems like this happens in Hollywood. I mean, you have this successful shows and movies, and the kids always suffer. We always see these kids grow up being, Amanda Bynes. We saw what happened to her, Britney Spears, all these, grown-up actors, kid actors go down dark paths, unfortunately. Aaron Carter's another one. Very sad to see, and we see why when you see this documentary and see the interviews with all the past employers and all that. So definitely an eye-opening documentary. Makes you very angry for all the abuse that you see, and very sad for the kids. And then the worst part is Drake Bell. He was sexually abused by a producer named Brian Peck over and over again as a kid. And he had a falling out with his dad. And that whole part was, man, that was gut-wrenching, especially the dad. Like, seeing what he had to go through, trying to protect his son. He couldn't protect his son against this predator. Very awful. And the fact that the guy didn't really get that punished as much as he should tells you everything about Hollywood and how they do not protect kids in Hollywood. And it's a horrible, horrible thing. It makes you hate Hollywood especially. But the good news is Drake is somewhat coming out of all the horrible stuff that happened, and he's connected with his dad again, which is good. And some of the other kids connected with their parents after they had some falling out. So that was good to see. But yeah, overall, an interesting documentary. A hard one. You definitely, you're going to cry during it. You're going to be angry during it. It's one of those kind of documentaries. But yeah, very well done, very informative. Makes you really think about the business anyway. So yeah, I recommend it overall. Give it another 4 out of 5 stars for documentary here. Quiet on the Set on HBO Max.